Hello Capricorn, thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I am using the Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dune, Supportive Oracle Cards, the Akashic Tarot by Sharon Klingler and Sandra Ann Taylor. It has noticeable differences from a tarot deck in my opinion, but it's a really good deck. I relate to it like a tarot or like an oracle deck, so that's why I'm using it as the supportive one. Of course, if you have the deck or you feel differently, that's all cool. I just like the deck, and it's just something I relate to that way, so I'm going to use it that way. Okay, that's... We'll see what that is. Because there's a... I'm already looking at something where there's a card stuck, and I'm like, what is that card? Okay. Starting off, Queen of Keys, the Architect, and a couple cards. You got two spots with hidden cards. Okay, Queen of Keys and the Architect, right? I'm feeling like you have a plan and you know what you need to do. But when I'm feeling key energy for Capricorn, it's kind of like, I already know what I'm going to do. Maybe I haven't started it yet, but I already know what I'm going to do. Other people might be doing their own thing, but they're going to have wasted time because I told them what I was doing, and they might think they can do what they want and it'll just take over, but it's not. I already said what because I feel like you've already told people, like, I'm doing this, this is how this is going to go. Kind of like Saturday, the family's getting together, we're getting in the car, we're going to the beach, and we're going to have this menu, and we're going to be doing these events, and this is what's going to be happening. And then other people are kind of like, well, part of that day I'm going to do this, and part of that day I'm going to do that, and it's not going to work out that way for me, and you're kind of like, well, I already said what we're doing. So you're either a part of it or you're not, because I'm doing what I said I was doing. If you don't want to be a part of it, then you don't want to be a part of it. Because I'm getting here the Devil card, which is usually your card, but right behind it is Judgment in your favor. Like, this is going the way it's going. We're not negotiating. I've already made up my mind. I'm already setting my plan in motion. And like you've already told people, like, I've already set my plan in motion. It may not be actually happening right now. It's going to happen this weekend, but it's already happening. And if you're not there, then it's up to you to figure out what you're going to do. I'm not going to like bend over backwards and make things work out for you. I already told you what I was doing. You make it work out like you need to make it work out for yourself. Because I'm getting this energy around you of the, it does have a little bit of a page, but I'm getting the Princess Page energy here. Kind of like somebody's going on doing what they want to do. They're doing their own plans. And you're like, all right, do your own plans, but I'm not changing mine. And they're kind of like, yeah, but I need. And they're like, and you're like, hey, I already said what my plans are. You're going to have to need with somebody else. You're going to have to need with somebody else. The thing is, that also comes in with the Emperor. I should have picked that up too when I saw it. Because I'm getting like, the Emperor is actually a fire card because it talks about Aries. So you got Aries kind of energy going on here. A little bit Aries, Sagittarius feel here. Maybe a little... Leo is a fire sign too. We'll throw that in just for fun, even though I'm not really feeling that one. But somebody's moving forward and they're saying, well, I'm going to be doing this, but I'm going to need. And you're like, well, you're going to have to need with somebody else. Because I'm doing what I'm doing. So this is how this is starting. This seems to start the whole situation. Now, here's your second. This was the first time a card was hidden. The Devil with the Judgment in your favor. That's the first thing. Kind of like I said what was going. I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's what it's going to be. Here's the second one. It's these cards. You got Temperance with waiting for things to work out. And you are waiting for things to work out. And then you got, what's the card? Ego? What is it called? Views of the Ego. Which a lot of times I notice that mirror, it's kind of like, what are you seeing versus what's going on around you? Because when I see this card right here, if I can move it into frame here, you can see the person sees only themselves, but there's two people next to them, right? But they don't see the other people in the mirror. So it's kind of like, what aren't you seeing? What else is going on here? Um, there's something else. There's something deeper here. The card behind it that was hidden is the Buddha prepares. It's kind of like whatever's going on around this person, and they're like, well, I have to do this in the morning, or I have to do that. And you're like, I already set my plans. Or they're like, yeah, but I need, and you're like, need with somebody else. This is the moment where they're like, nobody says you have to change your plan, but you might want to find out why this person is doing what they're doing, because it may affect you. And I'm feeling like right in this moment, like I'm like, yeah, but I've got plans, and I've already said my plans, and I already told people what my plans were, so they should not have scheduled things on that same day. When I already said way ahead of time what was going to go on, people should not be changing plans, or they shouldn't be overlapping their plans trying to change mine. I already set this ahead of time, which makes sense for you, but I feel like they're saying you're going to want to know. It's better to find out sooner rather than later what's going on and why. Nobody says you have to change your plans, but you want to know the details of what's going on. And that hidden card is kind of like, I feel like that's where I'm feeling this. Just to be fair, is I've made plans and I gave more than enough time to let people know where I was going, so that shouldn't be challenged. But they're saying for some reason it did happen. There is some type of snafu. You want to know about it before it happens, because it's going to affect your situation. It will affect it. The Nine of Pentacles is in the environment, but it's not touching you, in the sense of like, people are making plans and people are moving things around. It's better if you know ahead of time. It's better to have your plan and evolve it in a way that it still suits you, rather than kind of be off to the side and then you do your plan and other people are doing other things and you just kind of miss out on some things you wanted. Because I feel like that might be what happens. You got to decide what's right for you. I feel like this reading is just meant to like give you a heads up so you can create an outcome that really works for you the best. It's up to you what you do with that. If it hits, of course. It's a general read, I know. Because what I'm getting coming in next, more possibilities coming in. Like things are going to change. Whatever plans you set, other people seem to be caught up in this other situation. Something's going on. Things are getting moved around. The King of Keys shows up with the Seven of Cups. We're going to have to find a different way to make this work out. We got things going on that we weren't expecting. I know we were planning on this for Saturday, but a lot of us aren't going to be able to do that now, or at least not in the morning. We might be able to do it in the afternoon. But it depends on participation and who's willing to work with this. I feel like people respect and understand you've made your plans and you're going forward with what you set, but if they can't, they can't. You will, but other people will have to work around it. And I feel like when you see this play out, it's kind of like other people doing what they do is fine, but I feel like looking back, you're going to be like, well, this could have gone better for me if it's one of those things. All you have to do is know the information and be a part of this situation. Maybe kind of like, you might even have a way to kind of like, instead of that happening Saturday, like the plans I want to happen, maybe we can do this on this day or that day. You might be able to move this other stuff that has to happen, because I feel like there's other stuff that has to happen. When I see that 7, it makes me feel like this is like almost like a list of tasks that have to be done. It frustrates me a little bit. But you might, if you get in there soon enough, you might be able to be like, you know what has to be done on Saturday and why? And maybe it can be done before or a little after. And I feel like you can work with this and you can be like, I'll help out, but let's do it this way. You might be kind of that voice of reason, kind of like, maybe we can just do this a little differently. You might be able to help this work out in a different way and still not lose your plans. That's why you want to find out, get more information, try to figure out what's going on here. I feel like you can make a difference here, and your plans don't have to be lost. Because, even though I already said it, you got a lot of air energy coming in here. When I'm getting the Gabriel card, I'm getting a lot of air energy. The Queen of Swords, a lot of air energy. Air is communication, thought, working things out, thinking things through. And ultimately, you have this card, which to me, it says Hilarion. But when I'm feeling this card, especially in your situation, you're working with other people and you're like, what other possibilities do we have here? I have my goal and I'm going to keep my goal, but I also see you evolving to the next level, kind of like, you know what, they're handling it this way and I don't think they're doing this right. I don't think that's really going to work for the long term. They're doing Band-Aid fixes for big problems, and this isn't a good idea. You don't fix a broken arm with a Band-Aid. That's not a good idea. That's not smart. So, and I feel like you're seeing it that way. They're seeing it differently, and they're kind of like, you know what? Instead of doing these Band-Aid fixes, let's put a cast on this arm and actually let it heal. It's going to take a lot longer, but guess what? It was going to take a lot longer anyway. And I feel like you need to be in on this. You need to help people see things in a different way and kind of like look at this, kind of like stop doing Band-Aid fixes. We need to do more permanent, true resolutions over here. This might be a business thing. I shouldn't laugh, but it kind of reminds me of corporate situations where it just happens all the time. People do Band-Aid fixes because they don't really want to deal with it any more than they have to. So they do Band-Aid fixes hoping they can pass it on to somebody else and somebody else will do the actual correction. So I feel like you're coming in like, all right, enough of the Band-Aid fixes, enough of this. We need to make this work right. So this could relate to a whole work situation for you the more I'm feeling it. You have to decide where that fits for you, of course. All right, we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.